From the swamps of Louisiana, the Cajun Predator.
The day of the hairy freak or the fat slob is practically gone.
Let the party begin. I've got snacks.
Hey, look at us. Did it again. Another 7 days around the sun. Welcome. WCW Deep Cuts Live every Tuesday at 9 p.m. We all gather here to celebrate the forgotten quote-unquote television classics of World Championship Wrestling's past. My name's Tom Green. My socials are right there. Look at those. Look at those right there. That handle right there leads you to almost everything I have. So just look for that and you'll find me eventually. Hello to everyone in the chat. Hello, Commodore Amigo. Hell yeah, Tony Schiavone getting the biggest pop at Dynamite last week. Deservedly so. He is the best. I do have blue eyes. My eyes are blue as fuck. Hello, Brenticus Maximus, Optimum Vision, Fire Pro Spooky, Tom McCartney. Hello, No Mercy, The Submaster, Cajun Gentle Tigre, Viva La Fran is here. If I didn't say so before, Brian Dermody, the man, the myth, the legend. Hello, Jonathan Mayer, the great Jonathan Mayer. Refs as Wizards, of course, can't have a party without you. Incident 73, Peter Crawford's here. Bam Dog's here. Sean Drox is here. Incident 73 is here. Wiffle Ball IT, is it Wiffle Ball TTV? I thought it was just Wiffle Ball TV. Look at your streaming service. That'd be a great streaming service. Let's get on that, folks. Yeah, I think I got everybody. If I missed you, I am so sorry. Hello, Scuffle and Hillbilly. Welcome. Yes, new camera. Anonymous benefactor was nice enough to give this to me when his streaming efforts kind of fell apart. So, hey, you can see me better now. Tonight, we're going to go back to the year 1990, May of 1990, in fact, watch a few episodes of WCW World Championship Wrestling, Saturday evening 6:05 edition. We got 3 episodes to watch because one of them was like severely shortened due to a rain delay. So we'll get into that, and here in a bit we'll find out what we're watching Sunday on Off the Grid, which reminds me, if you're watching on Twitch, go sub to the YouTube channel. Closing in on 18,000 subs on YouTube Shorts, WCW Deep Cuts Shorts. I do Off the Grid on there and Twitch every other Sunday at 8. Yeah, and just some funky other videos here and there. If you don't have time for a full stream, I try to cut up a lot of the matches into individual videos. It's a good time. So, but we gotta get into this. We got so much show. So let's start right now.
Boy, I tell you what, Jim. Theodore R. Sugar Ray Long.
This is what I was talking about. This episode of World Championship Wrestling, I believe, was the first Saturday of May 1990. Was started late due to a rain delay. We got Doom in the ring. I see Bob Cook in the corner, just kind of hanging out. Yes, Peter Crawford, Bob Cook. Not sure who the other gentleman is.
Important that is for any manager's career to manage a team.
Tried moving stuff around, but I don't like where it's gonna move it back.
I've managed the Midnight Express to the World Tag Team title twice. I'm sorry to say I've never been able to shave Paul Ellering's head. So maybe Sugar Ray can do something there that night that I've never even done in professional wrestling. Although
I'm doing all right, hanging in there, trying. Some days are harder than others, but yeah, I don't know who he is either, but I fear he's not long for his world. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Ron Simmons is going to beat this young man. Ron and Butch were both huge here. I mean, Ron was big most of his career. Punched him right in the jaw. Ron is so loud, you can hear him over the commentary.
Brother, he is doing a tune on his head like he's trying to ring a school bell. You know, I've never said that the...
Oh, jeez. Optimum Vision with the scientific experiment. The delay between the mobile Twitch app and the PS5 app is approximately 5 seconds. Get on that, Twitch. I'm surprised nobody ever tried Ron Simmons' account.
Where Doom and Sugar Ray are going to triumph because they're going to have their plans ready and they are going to have the Steiners number for the World
Oh, geez. This guy can't really run the ropes, and he's paying for it. So yeah, we are on the road at this point to Capital Combat 1990, which means, yes, we're going to get a lot of Robocop mentions tonight.
Very similar to the Steiner line, both deliver a great deal of impact and authority. As Reed drops
Bob Cook just kind of hanging out in the corner, letting this guy get beat up.
Reed says not now.
Oh, he's sending out a message to the Steiners. He's saying,
yeah, I was going to wear it because I have a Capital Combat 90 shirt. I was planning on wearing it. And then I looked down yesterday at the gym and I noticed I'm covered in sweat. Oh, I'm wearing that shirt. It's dirty and we weren't able to do the wash. So it is not in service right now. I apologize.
That's not necessary.
That's called for plenty because they're sending out that message. I want to send out a message to my mother. You know, today's the day of the Kentucky Derby, first Saturday in May. And I just want to say congratulations, Mom.
Could have tied it up into Robocop. Could have tied it into Robocop 2 by saying Sid was all jacked on Nuke or something. William Bell is the guy's name. All right, thank you, Brian.
Straight lefts and a big right hand.
I don't look like it, but I go to the gym. So. Horrible genetics. Oh, here we go. Bob Cook's gonna take this move this week. Once again, shoot right into the lights.
Shoulder block off the second turnbuckle. The collision is
Doom.
the Steiners in Doom for
One, what an upset. Yeah, poor Bob Cook. Like, I don't have to do anything. Yeah, Bob Cook rules. One of the best right hands in the history of wrestling. Great punch. As I always like to point out when we bring up Bob Cook on here, Evil Knievel enthusiast, collector, historian.
The collision is coming between Doom and the Steiners. And now, let's go to Jim Ross, who'll talk to Doom and Sugar Ray Long. Another
Hell yeah, Jonathan. Shout out to the swimsuit backstrap, the old lady swimsuit backstrap that Bob Cook had
you had
there.
a chance to manage the World Tag Team Champions, but you also had the chance to leave there with your head completely bald.
This is one of my favorite stint matches ever. So Capital Combat also had a Teddy Long versus Paul Ellering hair versus hair match. Teddy Long, you can't see it with the cap there. He was pretty much bald by this point. He was growing it out in the back, but he had a skullet going. Paul Ellering had been bald for many a year.
The third thing is I'm going to get rid of that skinhead Paul Ellering. I'm going to cut every string of hair.
He even calls him a skinhead. The guy that he's wrestling in the hair versus hair match.
Work cut out. Work has been cut out for me every day that I've gotten up in this world. Then you talk about pressure. There's no pressure on Ron Simmons. I'll put you.
What a promo,
pressure is. Pressure being a 17-year-old, leaving high school, going to a major college, being an All-American, and repeating it for the second, third, and fourth year. Not only that, playing in the Senior Bowl, playing in 2 All-American games, playing in the Hula
Bowl, yeah, right.
playing in 2 Orange Bowl, back-to-back. Pressure's no stranger to me. I'm going to tell you what pressure is, Punk. When you enter that ring with me and Butch Reed in Washington, every fat lady is going to stand up and sing because it's going to be all over for you.
Very quick, Butch, your comment.
There's a Ron Simmons, such an underrated promo.
Boys are tough. They're the world champions. We don't underestimate them. But let me tell you something. Doom likes it tough. My partner just says it. Steiners.
Butch struggling a little more than Ron. But after that Ron promo, anybody would struggle. Ron was great.
And the goal is going around our waist. Doom rule.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, now let's take a
Hello,
look
Burke,
at this
yes.
week's
Burke Assad, one and the
week.
same as Ron Simmons.
Ruse.
Ruse. For your stuff. Hell yeah.
Ruse move of the week centers around the United States heavyweight champion.
This is that period where Jim Herd wanted Ric Flair to cut his hair, and the compromise was Ric Flair would just wrestle in a ponytail.
Superplex by Lex. Luger, Flair, what a rivalry. This week's Ruse move of the week. Ruse, shoes for your feet, pockets for your stuff.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to World Championship Wrestling. We're going to show you now that altercation involving
I sure
the
hope that
Horsemen, Lex
wall,
Luger and
that
Sting.
backdrop is
It started out a very
WWE
impromptu
warehouse
match
and wasn't, like,
involving Ric
destroyed
Flair and Lex Luger.
decades
the fans,
ago.
I'm sure want to know how that happened. Well, exactly the way it came about was this. Lex Luger was scheduled to defend his U.S. title against Dutch Mantel, but only Anderson
What a
bought
match.
the contract for the match. He said, forget about defending the U.S. title. Let's settle a situation between you and Flair.
Yeah, the
Luger
pockets on the
went for it.
roofs were not
And
that
ladies and
big.
gentlemen, what happened was the entire Horsemen
They
back at
overstated
full
them quite a
strength,
bit.
as you will see.
Yes,
And we're
Jim
gonna tell you,
Cornette
ladies
with
and
a
gentlemen, now,
much
this piece of
subdued
videotape
color
in
palette.
progress. Our colleagues Tony
In the
Schiavone
outfit
and
there.
Theodore Arlong will call the action. You're going to see quite a battle. Remember, Ric Flair, Lex Luger impromptu match, and then see what happens as the entire brigade hit the ring.
The entire brigade. Jim Ross making it sound like a bunch of fourth graders are going to run in. Like a knapsack full of newspapers.
Luger better worry about is that he is trying to defeat Ric Flair today and quit worrying about those fans out there chanting Luger, Luger, because fans don't win wrestling matches.
Well, now I would
I've seen a
agree
few
with that, but
fans
still,
win wrestling
the
matches.
fans behind you chanting your name. You probably never heard that, so you don't know what it's like, but it certainly gets the adrenaline flowing.
I don't know what you're talking about, Giovanni. James Brown, Arsenio Hall, a lot of those guys, they call my name all the time.
A lot of the fans call your name too, but I haven't heard a look at it. Going right after
Also, it's wild that they just throw this match back on free TV when these two had just headlined a pay-per-view a couple months ago. They're going to headline the pay-per-view in a couple weeks.
He needs to stay out of the way. He's not fully recovered yet, and that's all he needs is another injury right on that leg, and brother, he'll be out of professional wrestling for good, and I don't blame him if Ric Flair didn't put him out today.
But with Luger there,
Hey, sure.com. No good perverts yet. No good perverts.
Well, I just don't see how Sting could even...
JR, I believe, is still in the hospital. I know, as at least as of Sunday night, he was in the hospital. I haven't seen anything since. Yeah, Luger's back up because Flair kicked him so hard in the stomach. It's not like he was making a comeback. Oh, love you.
Ric Flair, the NWA World Heavyweight Champion, laying those chops in, brother.
Laying them shots in.
Luger firing back. Flair hitting Luger. Luger hitting Flair to the eyes again. He's taken that a couple of times here. Trying to hip toss. Luger.
What's that, a backslide, right?
You're right. Here it comes. Sting encouraging him to go over with it. We've got a 2 count.
That's
Bless
why he's the
Sting's
World
heart.
Heavyweight Champion.
His leg, gosh darn, exploded, and he's at ringside wearing little short shorts and a giant ass sweater. Yeah, Ric Flair looking like George Washington. No wonder people thought he was, I mean, he was 40, but like, that's nothing these days. Everybody back then thought he was so old.
Oh, Luger almost had him.
Outstanding officiating by referee Pee Wee Anderson there.
Nobody home as Flair moved out of the way.
Lex Luger tried a wet bandits fall.
Screaming encouragement to the total package.
Optimum Vision, I was
Of his big
3 going on
talent,
4
going
when I
head
started
up against
watching
Ric
wrestling.
Flair. Nationwide TV here in
First
NWA
show
Worldwide Wrestling.
I watched, actually it was 3, and I had to have been 3 because it was August 90. Yeah,
Luger moves right
it
out of the
was
way.
my 3rd birthday party. I don't remember much, but my first memory of life is the British Bulldog belay vertical suplexing a dude on Superstars of Wrestling.
Moved out of figure 4. Wait a minute here. We might have an upset right here on national TV, Giovanni.
Flair's into the ropes. Into the ropes.
But imagine a Ric Flair animatronic in the Hall of Presidents.
Flair's only recourse. He chops Luger in the chest.
You'd have to keep people so far away from it to avoid being
Oh,
grabbed.
no, not gonna move him like that. He'll try again.
Not gonna move him like that.
Picks him up. To the eyes.
Very cool,
And now
Optimum
Flair,
Vision. So
what's
yeah,
he
about the
going
same
to do?
time.
He's going up top with a high wrist maneuver.
Yeah, old these days, wrestler-wise, is like 90. Like, if you can walk, you're still good. Like these guys and their damn stem cells.
And now Luger picks him up.
Your Harley Race aged
He's going
rough.
up with him.
That dude was 40 when he was about 12. I saw a picture the other day of Dory Funk Jr. and the caption said Dory Funk Jr. age 15. You would have thought he was 45, 50 at that point. Dude just has an old face.
There's only Anderson
But Ole Anderson heard somebody saying something nice about a promoter and had to get in. Arn Anderson, great look, shirtless with slacks. Barry Windham, straight out of a meeting as an ad exec, selling Coors Lights. Coors. I can't say that very well. My mouth doesn't work. Sting very slowly because he's actually hurt. Like trying to do a run-in. Yeah, Barry Windham looks like the cool guidance counselor. The one that will like look the other way if you admit to smoking weed. The one that has a band that plays down at the local bar on Thursday nights. And if you don't tell, he won't tell, and he'll let you in. Ole Anderson throwing backhands. Oh, those aren't slacks. Those are like gray jeans. Yeah, Ric Flair kicks the one part of the leg that is safe to touch at that point, and is far away from the giant tape target. Is the crowd noise piped? I would not be surprised if the crowd noise was piped in. Because, yeah, those people were kind of just sitting there. Scuffle and Billy. Only throwing punches like he threw compliments. Backhanded.
Ladies and gentlemen, quite obviously the Horsemen are back at full strength, and they have just left a lasting impression.
So, Brian, that teacher either was really cool or a giant predator.
Right here. And I'll tell you what, you haven't seen everything, Luger. You haven't seen everything, Sting. We still got one more surprise.
Oldie's got a little bit more hair going on. He's got that little tuft. Oh, he really looks like cool teacher Barry Windham here.
We are going to dominate the NWA.
Like the blazer with the jeans really makes him look like the English teacher who will let you say ass and shit in class.
I always get my man. I've told you that before, and I'm telling it to you now. And here he is, Barry Windham.
In the cage 2 weeks from tonight.
I'm the reason why he quit the WWF in 6 weeks.
Combat 90. It's the Horsemen here.
Good. I'm glad he wasn't a predator, Brian.
And Robocop here. It's the cage. It is everything that violence.
He shouldn't have worn the glasses if he had the ponytail. Those sunglasses with the ponytail. It makes him look like Brother Love.
When you walked out here.
Hey, Nathan. Yes.
On national television, and you promised the wrestling
okay,
world.
There. He looks like a tomato now.
Title, which meant you had to beat me in the cage. You just retired because, pal, as God is my witness, you will bleed and you will sweat and you will
blade.
The word
Barry Windham, you're going to cut, not Barry Windham. Lex Luger, you're going to cut your forehead when I'm in the ring with you.
If we are oozing,
those are the same pants he wore for that run-in. And this was taped weeks after.
It's a 10-man Robocop.
Frugal man after my own heart.
Sting and Luger against 4
yeah, Adam and Nathan, I agree with you both. He does look a bit like Tommy Rich with the ponytail and the suit.
It looks very bad for Sting and Lex Luger, and we'll be back. 6-man action. It's coming up next.
Oh, yeah. Sullivan's Slaughterhouse. As Mick Foley said in his book, the only slaughterhouse where they would not allow blood.
This portion of World Championship Wrestling was brought to you in part by
Nintendo.
Now you're playing with power.
The following 6-man tag team
Rocky King, Paul Drake, Sexy Paul Drake, and Johnny Rayner against a practical murderer's row. Kevin Sullivan, Cactus Jack, and Bam Bam Bigelow.
Consequences, New Mexico, 257 pounds. Cactus.
Casually putting a strand of hair in his mouth so he doesn't think he's on camera yet. Looks crazy.
From Asbury Park, New Jersey.
I did not like this gear on Bam Bam. I always thought it looked very cheap. Like off-brand Bam Bam.
And their opponent's total combined weight, 710 pounds, Rocky King.
Here we go, sexy Paul Drake.
His partner, Paul Drake.
With Johnny Rayner in his little rat tail. Beautiful stuff. Studs on alert, studs on the town. Watch out, they're on the prowl.
Segment here on the program. And Kevin Sullivan starting out very quickly on Paul Drake.
Kevin Sullivan, very anti-sex worker. Sex work is work, Kevin. Leave that gigolo alone. And Bam Bam was in WCW for a bit in 1990. Very blink if you miss it run. Hello, it's the WPAN, I believe. I should move it over here so I can read it. Welcome. I was moving stuff around and I didn't think, hey, I should be able to read the alerts. But either way, welcome. Enjoy yourself. Join the Erotic Eric Fontaine fan club, aka the chat. Relax. We're watching some wrestling. Rayner and Drake dressed similar to the normally team. I don't believe so. I think they just both brought blue tights. That happens sometimes. Because back then, it's not like everybody now, where we all have, like, every wrestler has, you know, $10,000 beautiful tights. Dressing all like different superheroes. Just, oh, you got blue? I got blue. Cool, we're teaming up. Yeah, Paul Drake made all of the guys he wrestled look bad. Because he was so ripped.
Very high, fast-paced match we have in the six-man tag team event.
I thought he said ass-faced. A very ass-faced match? No, fast-paced. Oh, gee, okay, he got over. Yeah. The trajectory did not look so good.
Tomorrow night, Fredericton, New Brunswick at 7:30. That's the University of New Brunswick, Aitken Center. Monday night, St. John, New Brunswick, the Lord Beaverbrook Rig. Tuesday,
the Lord Beaverbrook Bridge?
At the Metro Center. Wednesday night, Syracuse, New York.
Is that the wrestler? No, that's Lord.
Thursday, Rochester, New York at the Dome Center. And coming up to Hobbs, New Mexico.
The Dome Center.
Clovis, New Mexico, and next Saturday.
Here we go, Cactus Jack against the Rat Tail King.
It's going to be a great week for the NWA as we're
oh.
sights are set for Capital Combat, the
Johnny Rayner.
in the DC Armory in Washington, D.C.
Get those tube socks over the boots. What the hell is he doing? Oh, jeez.
Face first right to the canvas. That's a devastating move for Cactus Jack.
It's unorthodox, but that's the way Cactus Jack likes to do it. Like
fortunately for Jack, I would say Jeff Jarrett's still the king of the stroke.
He's going to have plenty of opportunity on the 19th. The Road Warriors and Norman. What a combination.
Like, Bam Bam's top looks like a pinball game. Like the little flippers.
From this big beast from the east,
this big beast from the east. I mean, that's his nickname. Why am I saying it like it's
one of the great main events involving Norman and the Road Warriors, six-man tag team action, and Rayner sent to the right on the far side, and he's caught there. Oh, he caught.
Oh, jeez. Oh, thank God. Poor Johnny Rayner. R.I.P. That looked rough. And then Oliver Humperdinck, dickhead that he is, they almost killed this poor guy. And then Humperdinck like walks on his face. I think we're getting a replay. We're gonna get a slow-mo. Oh god. Oh, at least the Nintendo logo. Seriously, look at Bam Bam's power. He stops him within a millimeter.
Nintendo Entertainment System. Now, you're playing
and then mounts the man. I believe it's the Amazon position. I believe that's what Reddit told me. Stay tuned for Wildfire Tommy Rich. What's causing all this? Wildfire Tommy Rich against Scrap Iron. Go for it. It's not Scrap Iron, it's Scrap Iron. That is quite the vest on Tommy. It was absolutely at one time a jacket. Wait a second.
Apparently, is he the protege of Outlaw Deaton, Corny?
Oh, okay, that's Joel Deaton at ringside. Longtime Georgia guy. Very briefly getting a push on TV in WCW. Apparently, Scrap Iron, Bill Ford's mentor. Oh, knocked him out with his winner, aka the Fez Press. Does not speak well for Joel Deaton's teachings. Also, shout out to Bill Ford for wearing like a Bigfoot shirt or whatever that is on TV.
The crowd here wants Outlaw Deaton if he wants the job done to do it himself. Well, it looks like he may do just that. Outlaw Deaton and
there we go. These two would wrestle in every Georgia Indy for like 10 years after this. His feet came like that close. That freaking close. Compensate? I think Jim Ross wanted to say a couple different words here. That was a great bump by Tommy. Brother.
We have seen Tommy Rich and Outlaw Deaton develop a rivalry of sorts right here on TBS.
Joel Deaton with his sexy leather gloves. He bought those from Paul Drake earlier.
Especially when he gets a jump on you, as he has right here.
Alright, he's slapping him, challenged him to a duel. Nick Patrick, shittiest referee, not DQing him for using outside illegal weapons. Not foreign objects, they're international objects.
Fans, don't forget, 1 week from tonight, the NWA will be in Detroit at Cobo Arena, also Mission, Texas. There's a lateral press.
Those are two way far apart towns. That arena booker should be fired. We're going to be in Detroit, and then the next night we'll be in, what is it, Deaton, Texas, he said? Oh, jeez! Tommy hit his face on that ring post. Oh, boy.
He's stuck in D-Light, Arkansas, thinking about Tanya Tucker.
I have a feeling Joel Deaton has pulled up unconscious Tommy Rich's body off the floor many a time in his life. Big fan of using the ropes as a weapon. They're elevator cables. Those things hurt. And Nick Patrick just letting these dudes headbutt each other in the balls.
Will be the Steiner Brothers taking on the Minnesota Wrecking Crew 2 in a stretcher match. The losing team must be carried out of the ring on a stretcher. That's this Sunday night at 6:05 as Tommy Rich fires up on Outlaw Deaton. And Rich followed him into the corner.
That was a good camera angle for that thing.
I'll tell you, Jim, I got something I'm really looking forward to. In the next I'm going to be talking to the fabulous Freebirds.
Hey, Trish Stratus. Where she got it from. Trish Stratus, big fan of Outlaw Joel Deaton. Patrick is the worst. I agree with you, John.
Now we're going to see what cowards they really are.
Near fall again, 2.5 count. Outlaw Deaton trying to get the pin, and Rich kicks out.
Yes, this is the Destruction Crew 2, consisting of Destruction Crew number 1, 2, and Destruction Crew number 2, 2. Yes, Mikey Nuss and Wayne the Train Bloom.
Man, I am really impressed.
I'll take it from here, Mike.
That Woman and company have assembled with the Horsemen. Indeed, they are at full strength with the legendary world's champion Ric Flair, Arn Anderson, Ole Anderson.
Oh yeah, all my homies hate Nick Patrick. Yes, I am one of your homies.
Another Horseman this Friday night on the Power Hour. And you have the honor.
You're not. She wasn't choking him. We just put it like around his face like a mustache. You look funny.
Look at Deaton trying to stay on Tommy Rich.
I'm afraid Nick Patrick would sue me if I put that on the show.
Trying to get disqualified. You see now there, Rich grabs the whip again. Deaton tries to pull his property back away from him. Yes, I will be introducing yet another Horseman.
Maybe someday.
And I'll tell you what, the Horsemen have picked the greatest time that they possibly could.
Maybe someday I'll put the effort into shirts.
This is going to be the strongest combination of Horsemen ever.
Nick Patrick yelling at him, "That's my mustache, give it back." Seriously, he looks like Nick Patrick in like 6 months. What Jim Ross didn't say is Joel Deaton also from right here in Atlanta. Yeah, Joel Deaton did team with the Samoan Savage for a little bit. Yes, Scuffle. It was one of those WCW, like, oh, we have 2 heels in the locker room left. You 2 are teaming up tonight. Type team.
I'll tell you something. Sting and Robocop, best beware. Another lateral press.
Jim Ross having to say that with a straight face. This is why I can't take anybody seriously. It's like, oh, AEW is the worst. Blah, blah, blah. Jim Ross had to fucking sell Robocop as a real person. Oh yeah, lots of folks have mentioned Nick Patrick looks like Kenny Powers. Kenny Powers, deplorable character. But at least he had a fun catchphrase. Nick Patrick couldn't even count to 3 correctly. Tommy Rich could not bring himself to thrust on Joel Deaton's chest. Not a small package. That's weird, Sean Drox. I see it now. It's up on the screen. I hope Twitch isn't acting up tonight. Alright, there we go. Exactly. Why mail money? Why put it in a shoebox? That's how I send money. Put it inside the mouth of a dead trout. Wrap that in paper. Load it down a stream. Up next, the Freebirds point at you. Freeboids. What did I say it with Freeboids?
Well, we're back here on World Championship Wrestling on TBS. Without further ado, let's bring to the ring the world's greatest rock and roll band, Michael P.S. Hayes and Jimmy Jam Garvin.
Yes, man. Western Union, the only union. Professional wrestling. I love WCW. But compared that entrance to WWF at the time, I think they had just gotten the big logo thing to put up with the black curtains and like the big arenas. Whereas WCW went to like whatever the 1990 equivalent of Party City was. Got some sparkly little drapey things. And the heels come out of a closet. Michael Hayes is... And that's not a Canadian tuxedo, it's a Canadian 3-piece suit. Michael Hayes dressed like, not like a softball coach, but like a weird guy who hangs out at softball games. Now they're coming out of the crowd. Obviously, we just cannot build a nice thing for them to walk out of. Michael Hayes is an acid wash drop. Love it, man.
They're going after Ricky Morton. Double clothesline.
I love how these two teams are fighting to see who's like the best rock and roll something or other in wrestling. Like,
oh my goodness. Now they have a leather
rock and roll is like not Skinnered anymore at this point. It's very like the big bands of it. Like it's at the butt end of hair metal. Like I guess the Freebirds are the closest to it, but I still feel like they wouldn't fit in.
The fans are irate. Boy, they will all have straps on May 19th. You can better believe that. However, what's on the minor?
I'm not surprised that Michael Hayes is hanging out somewhere with straps. Drift.
The battle continues right here on NWA Worldwide Wrestling. And the strapping continues.
The strapping continues.
Jimmy Jam, the greatest thing I've ever seen.
You know what I was thinking? Maybe we can see it again. In fact, maybe we can see it again in slow motion. But Michael's going to tell you more about that. I got to tell you that, you know, we're going
Michael is all up on the slow-mo technology. Hey, Ninja Rap. This is like the butt end. The Midnight Express and Cornette are out the door in like a few weeks.
Hey, instead of seeing that tape again, why don't you just do it again?
Like they do like the Great American Bash. I don't think they're around by like the summer. No, they were because they did Halloween Havoc. So yeah. But it's on the butt end of their run. Hey, Refs as Wizards, thank you for the Prime sub. Like I always say, I do not beg for subs. But what I do with them is I put them in a syringe, and then I inject them in my butt cheek, give me strength. They're my DACA, they are not steroids. And Michael Hayes wearing eyeliner. This looks evil. Hey, Troy Vang. Yeah, this outfit on Michael Hayes. He looks like a divorced mom.
We got belts. You got belts. It's plainly like a country whipping match. But there's about
Country whipping match, which appeals to
Capital Combat 90.
like people in 7, 8 states.
Sometime before then. Because I don't need you.
I'll tell you what, I couldn't think of. Wait, guys, wait. What the?
Randomania. It's the Canadian version of Paul. Yes, very much so.
Buddies.
Another scenario I don't think the people involved are unfamiliar with.
You guys are gonna beat up
Jim Cornette on his knees begging somebody to either whip or not whip him with a belt.
Who could be friends?
I've heard things about his life.
Greatest tag team in the world today.
Hell yeah.
The Express. The Rock and Roll Express. Rock and Roll Express. Absolutely. Rock and roll. Rock and roll. Rock and roll. Rock and roll. See? Rock and roll.
What's going to happen May the 19th?
At Capital Combat?
Yes, sir. What's going to happen?
You're gonna whip the Freebirds, aren't you?
Yeah, Jim, you're on the booking committee. Tell us what's going to happen. Spoilers.
You're gonna whip them in the corporal punishment match. You're gonna whip them.
I think you sure got that right, but you know all these fans out here come to see us whoop somebody, and the Freebirds are not here. Well, who's left, Jimmy?
Well, Cornette's going to get out of the ring while the getting is good. And fans, while he does that, let's take a look at this week's A&W King of the Slams. This week's contender.
All right, the A&W King of the Slam, baby.
With a hard body slam, he can drive his opponents to the mat, or with a high vertical suplex.
Is he the King of the Slam? Vote yes by dialing one phone number. No with the other phone number. They never announced who was the real King of the Slam. They would just tell you to vote. Or, I believe that's Paul Drake. Bam Bam's gonna kiss him.
Horseman, you said you were gonna take me out.
Poor Sting. They filmed these commercials months in advance, and then he has to go blow out his leg.
So before you make your next move,
Think it over, Creed.
Saturday, May 19th, Turner Home Entertainment strikes a blow for justice.
Little boy Kane was at home,
The return of Robocop.
stroking his
The honorable
3-foot
Flair
penis.
holds court in the ring when he defends his world heavyweight title against the mighty power of the total package, Lex Luger.
Knowing
The
that
Steiners
someday
wield their own
somebody
brand
in the
of law and
state
order when they
would
defend their world
mess
tag
with
title
him.
against Doom. Norman and the Road Warriors take on Tough Guys at a 6-man tag team rumble.
Wait, Norman and somebody faced just Tough Guys? Is it because they couldn't say Sullivan Slaughterhouse in a commercial? They weren't allowed to?
Robocop 2, coming this summer to theaters everywhere.
Hi everyone, I'm Missy Hyatt.
Hi, Missy.
Join Jim Ross and myself tomorrow at 6:05 on TBS.
6:05.
It's the NWA's main event, and we've got the world's greatest wrestlers, and of course myself, the world's greatest host.
Missy
Indeed,
looks
it
like
should
she's
be a great
apologizing
program this
for
Sunday
the
night at
show.
6:05. You're a little still antsy, huh, James?
Tried to get me
World's
killed. I know
greatest
it was all a plot. You
wrestlers.
probably sent them out there. Well, let me tell you
Feel
something.
bad.
I hope you people realize
Alright, the
just
phone
how
numbers no
I wanna
longer
rock the world
work
spreads
according to
off.
Brenticus.
I hope those
Thanks
cowards,
for testing.
Those yellow dogs get what's coming to them, just like I told them off. The Freebirds are going to whip them. May 19th.
Ladies and gentlemen, we understand there will be a new
Great
horseman
tan on
introduced
Jim Ross
this
here.
Friday night on the Power Hour. We'll talk more about that on the main event. Now, we're not talking about Barry Windham here.
Another one.
You know who it is?
Of course I do. I know everything. I ain't going to tell you people, but you tune in because it's going to be one of the biggest surprises of professional wrestling for the season. And what a proper time coming up on Capital Combat, the return of Robocop, that the Horsemen are going to be stronger than ever before.
We'll find out who that new horseman is this Friday night on the Power Hour. And next Saturday night, we will have Sting and Lex Luger right here live from center stage. For Jim Cornette, I'm Jim Ross until tomorrow night. So long, everybody.
What are you after tomorrow night, Jim? It was Jim Ross until tomorrow night. Then what are you?
Severe
require knee surgery for the Stinger.
All right, this is the next episode. Jim Ross is hanging out in a pervert cave,
the youngsters that support this great athlete,
wearing a chastity cage around his wiener. Dreamcast Ultra, thanks for the follow.
Now, we don't know exactly Robocop's nature. Just a second.
Appreciate bringing the flat soda, the steel crack.
Robocop and Sting. Let's get a shot of this. Can we get a shot of that through the fence?
No admittance.
I know we're not supposed to go in there, but man, we need to. Let's get closer. Let's get closer.
That poor Robocop dude had to, and it wasn't the actor who played him. It was somebody else, it was like a stuntman. Had to put on the suit to film this.
Robocop is here with Sting.
Like, you couldn't see anything.
Hello, everybody, and welcome once again to World Championship Wrestling. I'm Gordon Soley.
I'm Gordon Soley.
Genial Jim Ross.
This is my flask, and here's my partner, Jim Cornette.
Jim Cornette is here, and we just heard from Jim Ross, I hope.
Regular cops protecting Robocop. What's the point of Robocop, then?
Direct from Washington, D.C.
Right, basketball
we're
adults.
taping this earlier today, and then we're going to hop a flight to D.C. Armory for Capital Combat 90, the return of Robocop.
Right, not the shoot Robocop, thank you.
The Horsemen are still going to prevail, Gordon.
Well, we'll find out about that very shortly. We've got some outstanding matches in store for you. By the way, may I mention to all of you right now that many of your cable access stations are staying open late this evening. So if you haven't yet subscribed to Capital Combat 90, Return of Robocop, you still have that opportunity to do so. It's going
they
to be
ran
a
this
great,
shit
great
up
night of
against their own
competition,
pay-per-view.
beginning from 7 until 10 Eastern Standard Time. And of course, well, we got some action.
Like, this was a little bit before it, but it like went into the pay-per-view.
History and all about what's going to go on at Capital Combat.
And they did it for
years. Right now, why don't we go to the ring?
Let's go to Gary Capetta right now.
The following contest is set for
Brian Johnson getting his name graphic. It's Mean Mark. Wonder what Mark would have done if he was a polite guy for a nickname. Yeah, he doesn't look so scary walking out of the Halloween party curtain that he got from the dollar store. His entrances would get a little better. He's got his sexy Paul Drake leather goods.
All right, there you have it. Mean Mark going up against Brian Johnson. And Mean Mark, of course, since returning from Japan, has specialized in the heart punch. That, of course, was originally made quite famous throughout the world by Stan Stasiak. But
Poor Ox Baker being erased
in Japan, and has certainly perfected it, Jim.
It does. That's ironic you bring that up, Scuffle and Hillbilly. It does look like Mean Mark walking into an 8th grade dance.
The winning streak that Mean Mark was on.
Michael Hayes in the last episode was dressed like a chaperone.
See what develops with this young man, and he's a bad go-getter.
Certainly no question about that, but I'll tell you what.
I need to scream now because I'm going to be dead in 4 months.
Catch the program on the pay-per-view.
A lot of lip licking here from Mean Mark.
On the 900 line, and that's 1-900.
Salty lips.
9,900. $2 for the first minute, 45 cents for additional minutes. And kids, if you're calling, be sure and get your parents' permission. And the 5 horsemen now will be on shortly before pay-per-view begins. They'll be on. There goes the heart punch.
Indigestion. He had to push him over because the guy wasn't going to bump for his finish.
And now just covers him with the knee. No part of him's touching.
And Nick Patrick, being shitty Nick Patrick, lets Mean Mark pin him under the ropes.
Okay, and we'll be back in a couple more.
One of the more illegal pins you'll see.
Move of the week.
Mean Mark wins that battle of the dudes in little black trunks.
World Tag Team Champions, the Steiner Brothers. This week, Rick Steiner and the Steiner Line. After coming out of the University of Michigan as a champion amateur.
Nowadays, Rick Steiner calls it the Thin Blue Steiner Line.
All of the natural physical ability. Rick Steiner with his Steiner Line. Ruse,
Colors don't bleed, people.
Pockets for your stuff.
The feud between Lex Luger and Ric
Yeah,
Flair
Ruse and
monumental
Nintendo.
proportions tonight. It will be settled in the steel cage. But it
WCW was really selling the 9-year-olds.
A little wrap-up of exactly what's going on between Ric Flair and Lex Luger, mostly in recent weeks. And Luger, I promise you, The Horsemen have your number, and Sting, Robocop,
Number
or nobody
69
else is going to help you tonight inside that steel cage.
Take a look now at the series of videotapes showing you the history of Flair and Luger.
Wrestle War 90. This probably ain't making it to YouTube.
He's on top again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Love the unison counting. We're going to show you a series of videotapes from Gordon Soley's library. Mostly Linda Dallas and Misty Blue Sims in an exhibition. Carpet Invitational. If I knew somebody strong enough, I'd ask them to give me a torture rack. My back's killing me. And Ole just looks like somebody's grandpa out there in his undies and his undershirt. And it's so awkward because Sting is supposed to be getting beaten up, but they really can't do anything there without re-injuring him. Nick Patrick's staring at them, holding him back. Like, I don't know. Maybe 2 muscled up men holding down your legs should be a disqualification. But no, Flair won that. You're just allowed to have your friends come down to the ring and hold back the challenger so he can't get in the ring and get counted out? Seems a little ridiculous. Yeah, Ole looks like he's grabbed his baseball bat, and whoever's at the other side of that door is getting their head knocked off. Ric Flair here looking like a dad about 10 minutes after getting off of work.
The only reason I don't break you in half right now because the world title's not in the line.
Because these slacks are too hard to get off of you. You know, Lex isn't ready to go because he's got the knee pads around his ankles.
In front of my public, the only thing that kept you alive was
Some great hair on display here.
People were
Both
holding
men.
you down. But if you get in my face today with a woman here,
Woman seems to have the least big hair of the 3.
think about it, Lex Luger, baby. We're out of here. See you later. Hey, wait a second, I'm not through with you.
What do you think would happen if you grab somebody? They're going to slap you. Renticus, thank you for the Prime sub. Tip of the cap. Gonna inject some more Cyberdeca into my butt cheek. Really get some Slim Jims, baby. Yeah, Flair's hair here is much more powerful than a mullet. I feel like I'm just calling it a mullet would be an insult. It's very prepared. A lot of effort's gone into it. Lex Luger looks like he's beating the shit out of the local vacuum salesman. Whereas Arn Anderson looks like he's ready to hit the slots. Some of the preliminary wrestlers. Some of the shitty guys. Seriously, Arn looks like he's on vacation. And he's gotten showered up. He's ready to go eat his dinner at the casino. Or Mike Rotunda getting called a preliminary wrestler. I mean, he was at this point. Adam. Yeah, Arn looking like he's ready for bingo night with his wife. That is a bouffant. That's a pretty good description. Scuffle and hobo. We saw this clip like 30 minutes ago. Harry Windham is here. He's not with his dad in jail for making fake money. I don't think it's a full clip show. There's a number of matches in it. It's the night of the pay-per-view, so they're gonna try to hype you for it. Brawl at Waffle. Another camera operator who is standing out, white t-shirt, bright blue pants. We need to get some help in here. We're gonna gently touch his leg.
Well, you see Ole Anderson and Arn Anderson, they've got Lex Luger tied up over there, so Luger ain't gonna be helping nobody. And now, brother, you see
Luger wouldn't be helping anybody anyways. Lex Luger, not a nice guy. Or he wasn't at the time, now he is. He's a blessed old man. Arn Anderson's only 32 years old here. Thank you, Crandomania. 32-year-old Arn Anderson. Yeah, Flair's trying so hard to not do anything to that leg. Here we go. We send the Steiners out this time. And Brian Pillman. Eddie Gilbert. There is preliminary wrestler Johnny Ace there. Now the Horsemen have Sid Vicious in his prom tuxedo.
The Horsemen over here. It's the Cage here. It's Luger, Sting, and Robocop. In your case, Luger.
They look like the drunkest guys at a funeral.
Blood, sweat,
Like the guys you have to walk away from the casket because you're afraid that they're going to knock it over.
I can't believe it. Can you believe it? Look at
I can't believe it, Ole.
at full strength. Flair, Anderson,
You say ball strength?
and the big man to take care of Robocop, Sid Vicious. What about it, Arn?
You know,
I love how that's the story. That's why Sid is in the Horsemen. Is because they thought that he could fight Robocop. That's the actual story why Sid is in the Horsemen. Yeah, Ric Flair's only 41 here.
Because what we have amassed right here.
Yeah, these poor guys having to talk about Robocop like he's the third top babyface is so funny.
It's going to take care of any slack that we can't handle. I don't think we've ever had a 6'10", 350-pound horseman.
I don't think we've ever had a 6'10", 350-pound horseman. Why don't you know, Rick?
He's mean.
It had only been 5 years at that point.
We're gonna blow the roof off the building.
Robocop beat many a citizen.
You know, it's just a few short hours away. The adrenaline's already starting to pump.
You can tell he's pumped because he's flexing his titty muscles.
The talking is done.
That would have been great if the Horsemen just kept adding people to fight various fictional characters. Like you said, Scuffle and Hillbilly, Dan Spivey to fight with Judge Dredd. Like, oh shit, Captain America's here. Let's bring in the Samoan SWAT team.
It doesn't matter. There's always been outside interference. This time, I've got you in a
Now imagine if Robocop would have shot somebody in the dick at Capital Combat.
Clothesline versus figure 4. Man versus man. And if I can't beat you in a cage, in the middle, I will never ask for a
So if he would have pinned Rick in like the upper right-hand corner of the cage, would have walked out.
The way I want you, and that's in a cage, you versus me.
Well, it'll all be settled tonight.
That's right. Tonight, Lex Luger, you've got
Yeah, Chucky was recruited by the Horsemen.
One-on-one against Ric Flair. It remains to be seen whether or not you can handle him.
Well, we're going to find out, and it all
Lex
takes
Luger with
place
a
in
lot
a
of
steel cage.
pauses.
And now, let's look at the A&W King of the Slams.
This week's
Norman.
The A&W King of the Slams is Norman. Norman, who is unpredictable in most of his moves.
Norman, who I believe they had to stop calling the lunatic at this point because of mental health advocates. Can I stream? I probably could. But I kind of just focus on, like I said, the deep cuts. Maybe someday, maybe that'll be a Patreon thing if I can figure that out. If I ever do a Patreon. But yeah, I could probably stream the WCW pay-per-views. Considering some of the stuff I see people stream on Twitch, like you can find like people streaming like King and Queen of the Ring from like the other day. He was slamming Killer Kyle there. Good eye, Scuffle Hillbilly. Rick Ryder and Rocky King against the Royal Family with Lord Littlebrook.
Well, there you have it. Rocky King and Rick Ryder.
Rick Ryder looks like Chris Elliott, but smaller. Yeah, they had to book all the guys that weren't on the pay-per-view so that they wouldn't have to explain why there were wrestlers that were doing double duty on a pay-per-view night. So yeah, we're left with the Royal Family and Mean Mark, who might have been, I think he was on the pay-per-view actually. I think he wrestled Johnny Ace maybe at Capital Combat. That is right, Brian. That is one of the best internet things ever. The guy who streamed a UFC pay-per-view on Twitch and just sat there holding a controller and like said his like little caption thing to playing UFC 3. That was great. But yeah, no, like I'm stunned some of the stuff I see people like get away with streaming on Twitch. This is like lawless land. Yeah, that worked. He streamed the entire pay-per-view. I think his account got taken down after the fact because it like went viral that he did it, and then the UFC was like, "Wow, we're angry." Oh, geez, poor Rick Ryder.
Boy, I'll tell you what, Rip Morgan, and he's got such an unorthodox style, does Rip Morgan, because he's a southpaw. He's left-handed, and he comes at you with the left fist.
I've
and the left foot, and then you got
not really gotten to look at TikTok live yet. I can't get approved for it. Otherwise, I'd be Justin TV. Yes, literally anything on Justin TV.
Ryder had that one leg partially extended. It is a count of three. A count of three.
Oh.
Here are your winners, the team of Rip Morgan, Jacko Victory.
Jacko. That's how you knew he was from New Zealand.
Horsemen,
his name was Jacko.
But you made a big mistake when you started messing with the little stingers. So before you make your
that makes it sound like he was molesting them.
Capital Combat Buddy, the return of Robocop.
That sounded awful. I understand you want to fight me, but don't mess with the little stingers.
The following contest,
Pat Rose and Captain Mike Rotunda. Here we go. Pat Rose, another great enhancement star of the past. Has anyone ever bootlegged those Norman shirts? I'd get one. That's nuts, Nick. Brian. You can stream UFC and Pornhub if you call it Dana White Fox 2 dozen MMA fighters. Darn too.
Rotunda may have the edge in the amateur background because he was an All-American out of Syracuse. And look at Rose. Counter very quickly from that head scissors. Got his own, and Rotunda breaks free. Well,
Pat
Rose, great head of hair on Pat Rose.
He's had some experience down here at the state as far as fighting goes, but Rotunda has him as far as wrestling goes, I will say. And Norman, of course, Norman out here at ringside, that buffoon, that idiot. Norman is going to team up with the Road Warriors tonight at Capital Combat to go up against.
Yeah, they're just not even bothering explaining why somebody on the pay-per-view is also on TV in a different location an hour before. I watched many a pay-per-view on Justin TV in the mid to late aughts.
Just to see those two guys in the ring, and I'm putting my money on Sugar Ray. Of course, you're also going to see the U.S.
I also saw a lot of wrestling. I downloaded a lot of wrestling from Mega Upload.
And they're sticking me in a cage, Gordon, like some kind of crummy raccoon, and you know I don't appreciate that.
Well, it's something you brought upon yourself, Mr. Cornette, so you're just going to have to live with the consequences of that.
Norman versus PG in an offensive division.
Center of the ring, and Pat Rose.
Wait a minute, he's trying to look at that. He's got
Nick Patrick saw that, and he's just like, don't do it. Don't do it.
Watch Rotunda now as he tries.
I have not seen a mega upload link in forever, but I think that's also because we've found better ways to distribute illegal stuff.
Measured in his actions right now, stalking his man carefully, moves in, snapmare, takes him back to the canvas once again. Referee Nick Patrick.
If I can figure out, I've talked about it. I might do a Patreon eventually. That might be a tier. We might do a stream like that. No mercy. We'll see. I keep saying we'll see. When I get the time. I don't have the time. I'll get to it eventually. I gotta be making some dollars. I do make some dollars. I need to make more dollars.
Hey, Gordon, that daggum Norman is over here at ringside making fun of me now. Now, wait a minute. Now he comes around here.
Patrick, doesn't want to do the paperwork.
Well, I think he's just congratulating you on the fact that we have an opportunity to work together. And speaking about
yes. Yeah, I'll keep you guys updated if I do.
It's going to be my pleasure to be on the 900 line with my old.
I don't know if you guys have heard the story about the ruse pads, the turnbuckle pads. They were originally on the actual turnbuckles. And then after a few weeks, I guess the wrestlers that did top rope moves all went to management and were like, we're falling off the ropes because these things are hard to climb. And so they just awkwardly put them around the ring posts. They're playing spin, baby. Dude, I'll tell you right now, I won't go into blow-by-blow expenses. I have made more money in the last year, I bet, off of Wayne Bloom and Mike Enos via a YouTube short I did than anybody has in wrestling in about 5 years. Guaranteed.
Quit hanging around with that big buffoon Norman.
Nintendo Entertainment.
Also, the Mongolian Mauler.
Playing with power.
Because of that YouTube short that blew up, currently at 2.2 million views. Yes, it is. Literally have made hundreds of dollars off that man. And watch, he's got some distant relatives that's watching. It's going to sue me now. Stephen J. Neptune Man with the update. May 19th, 1990, on this date, the Portland Trailblazers beat the San Antonio Spurs to take Game 7 of an NBA Western Conference semifinal, and the #1 song on the Billboard charts was Vogue by Madonna. Alright, these two who got their asses kicked last week are against the Samoan SWAT team. Wonder what'll happen. A little more than 12 large. A little more than 12 large. I'm doing a little better than Tom Brady at that gimmick table with Larry Sweeney. I'm lucky enough to make consistent monthly deposits from both Twitch and doing alright. Oh geez, poor William Bell. It is amazing. Oh shit. Either this guy's the best seller in wrestling history, or they got him in the jaw. Brian with another update. The #1 song on the rock charts was Double Back by ZZ Top on the soundtrack to Back to the Future 3.
Almost ripped his head off that time as he caught him with that lariat coming off the ropes.
These Samoans are so savage, Gordon, so mean and so.
These Samoans are so savage. Come on, Jim, really?
And if Rainer did get knocked into tomorrow,
you know how to do words better than that.
Main event tomorrow night at 6:05 right here on TBS. Rest of us will have to wait a day.
Almost a side salto, but then brought him back.
Boy, next week I got that sick competition. Dwayne and Gewirtz, who killed WCW. Thank you, Cajun Jungle Tigre. Actually, thank you, No Mercy as well, for gifting that sub. Appreciate it. God, I'm gonna have so much gyno after tonight. All that Deca I'm injecting. But yeah, next Tuesday I've got a competition in the time slot from Dewey and Brian. Rock saw how much fun we're having on Tuesdays, and he's like, I want some of that. Love the emojis I'm seeing in the chat right now. Hell yeah. You know who killed WCW, Dwayne? It was the Cajun Predator.
victory.
He refused to come back after that one match.
Samoans, what a dive off the top rope. I'd hate to be Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert and Tommy Wildfire Rich.
They do. I lactate. I lactate because of their interaction with the SSRI. No Mercy, thank you for gifting Fire Pro Spooky this song. Appreciates it. Be strong. WWF had Mr. Perfect beating Tito Santana to win the IC title, according to Stephen J. Neptune Man.
And Flair, if you think you're invincible.
Worry and Incohere, I believe. Cody. I apologize if I butchered your name. Again, I need to make the graphic better, but I appreciate you following. Bring in the flat soda and steel crackers. Oh boy, here we go. The Southern Boys. In 2024, they'd be called the Canceled Boys. Nasty Ned Brady and Joe Cruz. The team most likely to sell you pot. Oh, No Mercy again giving out subs. Stephen J. Neptune Man. Just got a sub from the sub master himself, No Mercy. 2024, they beat Senators. Yes, box.
Ability to just automatically act as one. They're an amazing team, and I think they're.
This is a different time, folks.
I'll tell you what, I know from experience, like I said last week, the Midnight Express has been in the ring with the Southern Boys.
And Ned does look like he sells something maybe a little harder. That's a good point.
I have to even kind of stand up when I see the Confederate flag. After all.
Oh, great, thank you, Jonathan. Yeah, I was having some issues before we went live with the new camera, so I'm glad everything's turning out all right. Kinda had to do some special work with the lighting. I got a ring light and a lamp, kinda like tilted to give me this great glow that you all see. Joe Cruz handing out edibles in the locker room. I baked these brownies myself. Joe Cruz, I've heard from a couple wrestlers, was like legit one of the toughest guys in wrestling at this point.
He's probably trying to already spoil for a title match here. Well, it ain't going to work. They're going to have to stand in line just like
Stars and Bars and Rhinestones, like a bejazzled groupie at a Kid Rock show. Thank you.
Don't get upset with me or nothing now, Gordon. Don't get upset with me. I get a little fired up.
The state's rights. You guys are on fire tonight. You guys, the chat, aka the Erotic Eric Fontaine fan club, the best parts Tuesday nights. Look at that little ponytail Nasty Ned has there.
Southern Boys have got it, no question. Nasty Ned fired off the ropes.
They're just calling spots because they know they can't. Forearm.
What a shot. Boy, I'll tell you something, Gordon. It's action like this they're going to be seeing tonight at Capital Combat, the return of Robocop, and both of the most prestigious titles in wrestling are on the line.
Or announcers, they can't just say Capital Combat. They have to give out the whole name.
The Steiners, the defending champions.
He does have the little strap. Thank you for pointing out, Jonathan. My favorite singlet, the little old lady bathing suit strap across the back.
The NWA World Heavyweight Championship. Luger's first time ever going for the title inside a steel cage, and he claims he can beat
Ned Brady's like, I'm gonna just bend over. That's my move.
And Nasty Ned is coming up very, very slowly. Nasty Ned ripping across the ice now, hard right hand.
There we go, Ned Brady with his brand new black slacks. It looks like he just got from the store. Doesn't look so nasty though. I don't believe he is Speedy, but he is the first. He is the guy that came up with the Repo Man gimmick. Oh, got him right in the mouth. It's Stevie Armstrong. Don't get the reference, Speedy. I feel like it may be something I should know. But no, Nasty Ned Brady was the guy who came up with the Repo Man gimmick in like late 1990.
Let's take another look at this one.
Gonna sue the WWF and just figured, oh, what's the point? I thought the Georgia Jawjacker was the European uppercut.
His jaw, Ned Brady down to defeat at the hands of Tracy and Steve.
Also, those are some grody looking tights.
World Championship Wrestling right after this word.
Hey, he's a Canadian indie guy. Or was he Canadian? Maybe. I've never heard of Nasty Ned. Stay tuned for more action. We're screaming.
Welcome back to World Championship Wrestling. Gordon Soley standing in for Jim Ross, who is currently in Washington, D.C., where tonight, of course, it will
Currently
be
in
Capital
Washington,
Combat
D.C.,
90.
protesting
Return
the
of
vax
Robocop,
laws.
Robocop and Sting are there.
What modern guy would I most love to see
May I
screwing around on
also point
WCW
out
Saturday
that it
night?
all began in
That's a
Corpus
load. There's a
Christi,
lot of
when the
them.
Horsemen jumped Sting and snapped his patella tendon.
Gonna go
Let's
with
go
an
back
outside
in a chronological
pick.
series. First to Corpus Christi, and then Sting as
JD
he
Drake,
motivates himself to
I think, would
return
be
to
a
action.
ton of fun on Saturday night. Armstrong is from Georgia. No Mercy again handed out subs. A shirt outcome. Tip of the cap to you. Thank you, No Mercy. I think Bronson Reed would be a lot of fun on Saturday night. I'm trying to think. I feel like the junior heavyweight flippy guys are like, I don't know, there were a lot of them in that point too. I'm thinking more guys that would fit in with like the disorderly conducts of the world. Somebody who would have a good 6-week feud with Chris Adams. Bear Country is a great pick, actually. I was. Look at this. Two just shitty old men punching each other in the face. That's what wrestling's all about, folks. Muda just standing on top of the cage, not having any idea what's going on. Buzz Sawyer was 30 here. Oh my gosh. Well, he looks all of 50. Yeah, this is where Sting gets hurt. Yeah, Sting blows out everything in his leg while Buzz Sawyer jumps off the top of a steel cage. And Ric Flair's just standing up there like, what am I supposed to do? Dijak would definitely be a guy that I could see him walking through the sliding doors, the smoke coming, for sure. I think Takeshita, again, would not be a guy that would get a push, but he'd be a lot of fun against some of those folks. Maybe a Joe Gacy? Takeshi's so freaking good. He's got that Don Callis anchor tied around his ankle. Ole Anderson cannot stop touching Buzz Sawyer. I did scream like that. You can ask my son, Noli. I did scream like I do on here when I saw Adam Copeland come down like this off that cage. Sting in his little tiny shorts. He wore a lot of little tiny shorts at this point. He wanted to show off his leg gauze.
Luger trying to reverse the figure 4 and turn Flair all the way over.
They were very popular at the time. But I feel like Sting wore them more than normal when he was hurt. Like somebody told him, hey, you need to be showing off this injured leg. Come on and kick his you know what. Sting's the one guy that can pull off saying kick his you know what. Hey Aspid115 in the chat. Glad to have you in the chat. Yes, wake up! Wake up, Lex! Kick his you know what.
A man imagine this, the 19th
Holy shit, Arn looks like he's on day 4 of a bender.
All these weeks you've been just
I'm happy to have you here,
like when you get here. Well,
could not say but. Hell, you couldn't say foreign.
You don't have to wait any longer.
It was deemed offensive by Turner execs.
That ring in capital combat is here.
Yeah, Arn looks like he's about to go leave for a 2-week trip with Hunter S. Thompson.
Barry Windham, maybe even another one. I tell you what.
Those eyes are barely open.
You're gonna watch the most exciting thing that you've
God,
ever.
Arn just opens like a couple buttons on that shirt. Women come crawling.
Sitting home saying,
Arn just flew up from Margaritaville.
Robocop is going to save the day. We took just a small amount of time and analyzed it. If it's human,
But only just like spit on himself?
if it's a machine, man-made, man can destroy it. And if it's something sent from God, if it's a guardian angel, sit down to look over Luger and look over Sting, then it's predestined.
Wait, is he trying to say that Robocop's like the angels in the
We
outfield?
analyze it. It's half human.
We believe
All
Sting.
it is just a support situation for Sting.
Yeah, Ole and Arn talking back to back kind of gives away that they're not really.
One less strong, one little less stronger.
I hope Arn wears that shirt when he debuts as Cody's manager. Apparently, he announced tonight that he's no longer with AEW. Yeah, Ole only had one outfit. That guy did not spend a dime in his life.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is...
Yeah, pretty much every wrestler in WCW to a person talked so much shit about the Robocop stuff after they were done. Johnny Ace put down that child. Why is there just a guy standing in the corner? Not even a security guard, just a guy. Tommy Rich sucking on his lips. Wonder what he was on. No, Arn was still with them. His contract ran out apparently today. Or tomorrow it runs out. Dutch Mantell with Samu wearing warm-up pants. And Lee Scott. Poor Lee Scott. Why is Lee Scott teaming with those guys? Nice, innocent Lee Scott. Lee Scott rules. Why is Samu wearing warm-up pants?
Be sure and get your parents' permission. And of course, we will be carrying Capital Combat 90, the return of Robocop, in its entirety tonight on the 900 line.
Again, I would love to know how much. Because you know people called in and listened to the whole paper who didn't know how to do the workaround where you just call the phone company and say, hey, my kid did that. I didn't take these charges off, and they have to take them off. People who didn't know that workaround, who would call in and pay like thousands of dollars to listen to Gordon Soley slur into a microphone. Here comes Robocop. Yeah, Lee Scott was the last guy left in the locker room who hadn't worked on this tape.
Combinations here, and brought him up. Full body slam, and now goes over, makes the tag. Lee Scott.
What's a half body slam, Gordon?
Catches him very quickly. Oh, wing over takedown.
Wing over takedown, baby.
Pressure on an outside armbar.
Gordon, I just got a message from the director. He said we're running a little bit short on time. We hope we can get the entirety of this match in.
Oh my God, are they not going to show this whole match? They're going to do a cliffhanger for this match. Tune in next week and find out who won this match.
In a corporal punishment match, that means each man has a 2-foot leather strap attached to his wrist, and he can use it legally as well as wrestling. They can
Also, shout out to my SSRI gang. I'm going to take my pull for the night.
And the Freebirds say they're going to take the Rock and Roll Express out. And right now, Lee Scott in there against Johnny Ace. Now, I was talking to Dutch Mantell before the program went on the air. He says he's a Vietnam War veteran. He says if Westmoreland had listened to him, we'd have won the whole thing in about 6 months.
There we go, Lee Scott. There's some aggression.
Johnny Ace putting on a lot of punishment, and now here comes the veteran Dutch Mantell. And Mantell
Here comes Dutch Mantell, or as he's known on YouTube.
Hard right hand into the head of Johnny Ace, brings him out, has that illegal advantage. Now
Lee Scott, this is right before Lee Scott started refereeing stuff. Right before.
Behalf of the other team, because now look at Samuel Lee Scott and Dirty Dutch Mantel.
Like, the guy who runs Dutch's podcast really needs to get him to do another face. The same one on every thumbnail is ridiculous.
Getting him to put Eddie Gilbert out. That way they could triple team Johnny Ace. Dutch Mantel keeping the pressure on him. You know, he's got that bullwhip at ringside with him. He calls it shoe baby, and that could play a part in this thing. Look at Samu came on in. Referee Pee Wee Anderson.
I would listen to Dutch Mantel's podcast if it was co-hosted by Shoe Baby.
Once again, they're planning to boots the midsection of Johnny Ace, and Johnny Ace is going to have a lot of problems here if he doesn't get back over to his corner. He's got to get back over and tag up, either with Tommy Wildfire Rich or Eddie Gilbert. Lee Scott has him.
Lee Scott's like, I don't know what to do. They've never let me do moves before. Poor Lee Scott. Like, I don't know what to do. They've never let me win before.
Lee Scott, he's shown a lot of fire here, but he is the most inexperienced one. He's still a rookie, so they're trying to help Lee Scott out.
No, they were just flat interfering in the match is all they were doing.
What was Randy Anderson? Was it climbing over the ropes? What?
Because Lee Scott's been showing a lot of life here. He just needed a little helping hand.
Beautiful standing drop kick now by Sam, who takes Johnny Ace back to the canvas once again. And now he's taunting Eddie Gilbert to come out there, and Gilbert.
Oh wow, Jordan Grace in NXT. Crazy. I saw that. Wild.
Punching away at Johnny Ace. Johnny Ace in a bad way. He's taken a lot of percussions to the body. Now trying to get over
Not
there.
just Jordan Grace.
He dropped down to one knee. He's still trying to get over and make that tag. He's still just a foot or two away.
A big tweet, LOL, what?
Again, outside interferences. Dutch
Oh, Ethan Page, good on him. Congrats to Ego. Good on Ethan Page. Cody getting his guys work.
Because it's been a constant situation.
I'll tell you what, Gordon, the director tells me there's 30 seconds left. We want to remind everybody you still have time to call your local cable company for Capital Combat 90. The return of Robocop. It begins at 7 p.m. Eastern, just a short few seconds away. We've only got a few seconds left of this program, Gordon, and the match is still going on.
Wow, we're doing Ethan Page and Trick Williams. Wow, I like it. Good direction. I'm very interested in it. All right, it's a cliffhanger. We're going out on a cliffhanger. So apparently we don't find out who won that match. But before we go to our last show, let's check out what we'll be watching Sunday on Off the Grid.
Bert Furnas along with my cousin Betty.
Totally shocked. I will promise you a big surprise for the
All right, so Sunday we'll be watching Ozark Mountain Wrestling. Apparently an ad break started right when I did that. So yeah, Bert Furnas and his cousin Betty on commentary Sunday at 8. Ozark Mountain Wrestling. State Patrol. In my head, Robocop, when he left, because this is the week after, he's like, yeah, you need to get my cousins jobs, but they're 100% human. Bert Furnas is the best. Yeah, we'll have a lot of Bert Furnas on Sunday. One of his many attempts to get something started.
In store for the Horsemen in this program. Jim, what is all this garbage about a surprise? Come on, I don't like surprises.
Tommy Rich, Johnny Ace, the Peroxide
Twins.
Twins.
Everyone to know, I'm sure
As the camera just kind of aimed at nobody for a second.
Well, the world champion is joining us here, ladies and gentlemen. Rick, it's good to see you.
Well, it's great to be here. I just wanted to inform the wrestling
I just want to inform everybody I'm just doing legit. Woo!
I want to shut that down right now. That rumor is entirely false. Ric Flair is not wrestling Lex Luger or
He sounds like how Gordon Sully's
Rick,
bloodstream
I must say
is.
that the surprise that I'm talking about has nothing to do with Lex Luger, and it has nothing to do with Sting.
Well, then I guess I got nothing to worry
We
about.
never found out who won that trios match from the last episode.
It makes Ric Flair breathe hard.
Yeah, I'm assuming, yeah.
Well, we'll find
I'm
out.
with Adam and a couple other folks in the chat. Spooky. Lee Scott got that win. They're just too scared to show it on television.
Rick, I'm sorry, I can't do it right now. Johnny Ace really cooking here.
When you say you can't spend the next couple minutes figuring out how you can explain that to me, and I'll be back out later.
All right.
Rick, I don't think he even knows what it is. He's just full of hot air. See, you run the man off. Try to give a little class to the program and what
Here we go. We're clapping. We're in Georgia.
Johnny Ace and Tommy Wildfire Rich taking on the ever-tough State Patrol. Great action, ladies and gentlemen. Big weekend here for World Championship Wrestling, Corny.
That's exactly right. Tonight, the Scope in Norfolk, Virginia, and also Springfield, Missouri at the Shrine Mosque. And tomorrow night, we're back at the Civic Center in Philadelphia and also the Civic Center in Monroe, Louisiana. That's tomorrow night. A big weekend, World Championship Wrestling. And we'll get into where
Tommy Rich, not the first time he's fought a cop.
This week, a little bit later in the program.
Tommy Wildfire Rich, nice reversal of the wrist lock on Sergeant Buddy Lee Parker.
Scuffle in our belly. I love it.
I've invited
Gonna,
no friend
yeah,
of mine, Mr.
I'm glad you stole from those
He'll be
damn cops.
joining our broadcast, Corny, a little bit later in the 90 minutes.
Wonder how many people actually tried to go down to the courthouse playing about that damn Lieutenant James Earl Wright.
Together at your parents' house or something. You don't need to have all your friends over.
Tommy Rich with the very,
nice move there by Johnny
very
Ace,
nice
right
and
rope, Johnny Ace.
curly wildfire stitching in cursive on the butt of his tights.
Parker going downstairs and tagging in Lieutenant James Earl Wright. Nice arm drag takeover by Johnny Ace.
Johnny Ace and Tommy Rich, both of them blonde, they make a great combination. Suicide blondes, died by their own hands.
Womp, womp, womp.
Tommy with the elbow on the shoulder of Lieutenant James Earl Wright of the State Patrol here on World Championship Wrestling.
Hi, face.
Counting the days to the big one live here on TBS. Clash of Champions 11. Coastal Crush. Wednesday night, June 13th. That's 8:05 as it happens. 8:05 Eastern Time here on TBS.
Coastal Crush sounds like a soft drink. I know there's going to be some crushing going on, though. And I'll tell you this about the
It's your guys' show. You can't make fun of the name, Jim.
Everybody
Come
in the
on.
NWA is going to be
That's
on the
my
card,
gig.
and that includes the new United States Tag Team Champions.
Mike Atkins, the referee, if they made it, of WCW refs. Throw them all into a blender.
Wright goes to the corner, nobody there. Nice build-back suplex by Johnny Ace. As we're just getting it started, what a dynamic program.
Johnny Ace has flip-flopped on most of these moves. Pretty used to flip-flopping. Still flip-flops to this day.
Is the surprise Mr. Wrestling #2, one of the biggest stars ever in wrestling? He's a legend. Going to be on the program today. That's a surprise.
That's not the surprise.
Mr. Wrestling 2 will be on
Neither
this
am I talking about the return of Mr. Wonderful.
Yeah, there's a third
Paul
Laurinaitis
as
brother.
well.
Yep, for sure. I forget his first name, but he was a part of the Wrecking Crew. Not the Minnesota Wrecking Crew. Or the Minnesota Wrecking Crew, too. Just the Wrecking Crew. 93. Mark was his name. M-A-R-C, Mark.
Here now has not arrived, but he will be here soon. I'm sure. Nice elbow by the Sergeant Buddy Lee Parker. A lateral press got 2 out of it. Johnny Ace trying to fight.
It's like the evolution chart of wrestlers, less successful as they go back.
For quite some time. They've got some experience in tag team wrestling, and they're keeping the man on their side of the ring. Tommy Rich was trying to come in and help Johnny Ace out. And Rich, he's such a redneck, he's got a stuffed possum on his wall at home. Did you know that?
I didn't know that, Corny.
Yes, one-time partner of Al Green.
Yeah, he does everything outdoors.
He was no karate.
Where he lives.
Johnny Ace trying to fight out of that predicament he's in the corner. A double tough team, the State Patrol, hammering away, and now they make the tag. That's Lieutenant James Earl Wright in there. His head used as a battering ram.
And to think, one of these guys would go on to drive away so many people from the wrestling industry with his weird teachings.
Clubbing right hands, a very straight-ahead attack exemplified by the State Patrol in our first event here on TBS World Championship Wrestling. Another double team. No, they missed the clothesline. Oh, he got him. Johnny Ace got him right there with a double clothesline and tags in Wildfire.
There we go. Tommy Rich doing wrestling.
Pulling them up to their feet to knock them back down, brother. Tommy Rich.
Cornette needs to stop saying brother on commentary. What's he going to do next? jiggle his fanny pack into the microphone. Let us know what he's packing in there. There we go. Fez press.
Well, the winners of the match exhibiting.
Oh, they have a little secret handshake. That was.
I would have given him credit for. You see on the replay. Tommy Wildfire.
Oh, jeez. Didn't even notice that Buddy Lee Parker hit his head on the ropes.
Team confrontation with the State Patrol, and now
boom.
Jim Ross has some.
That was a little more teabag than normal.
Let's go now to Jim Ross with Nature Boy Ric Flair and Ole Anderson.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I was going to talk to Mr. Wrestling 2 here at this situation.
Just forget
no, you weren't.
Number 2. You talked to us for
why do we need to talk to Mr. Wrestling 2? You've been retired for like a decade at this point.
A big surprise for the Horsemen, a big surprise for Flair. Well, I want you to know, if you didn't quite get it already, that we're not talking about a title shot for Luger again, and we're not talking about a title shot for Sting again. So now, I'm asking you as polite as I can, what is the surprise?
Well, only if I told you the surprise, it wouldn't be a surprise now, would it?
Cut the crap. All I want to know is what do you know that we don't know? You're being real smug on the TV program.
You're making me any more upset. I'm going to say a slur.
And I'm saying, what is that surprise?
Well, I'll tell you something. You guys like to surprise people all the time.
You can't just stand here and fantasize. I'm a busy man. The Horsemen are busy people.
I imagine I've seen Jim Ross on Twitter. He could stand there and fantasize.
And Turner have got in mind for us.
Well, I'd love to tell you, but
Cowboy hat emoji.
Fans, we'll be right back. Yes, we do. Let's go to the break right now.
Jim Ross. I was going to talk to Wilbur Schneider. I'm going to have Jack Brickhouse bring up Hans Schmidt.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to World Championship Wrestling. Still to come, Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff. We're going to show the fans in just a few moments, plus that big surprise coming up.
Wait, what is this surprise going on? You got Flair in an uproar. You got everybody in an uproar. What's the surprise, Jim?
You'll find out in due time.
I don't like surprises. I don't care who else does.
Well, apparently the Horsemen don't like them either, ladies and gentlemen. They're going to
Nobody
wait,
likes
same as
surprises.
you, James.
You don't know.
Well, I want to tell you something. We're going to show a feature here in just a moment. Our colleague
Nice
Tony
of them
Schiavone
to do this
went to the
promo
hospital
shot
where
at
Lex
third
Luger
grade,
is now in.
third grade picture day.
Funny?
Yeah, I think that's real funny because Ric Flair must have had a great granddaddy that was an Indian, some kind of witch doctor, because he's put a curse on everybody that tries to take that title. Luger's in the hospital.
Luger
His
is.
own fault. He shouldn't have come out of it.
Well, Luger was in the cage, and of course that cage was supposed to keep the Horsemen out. It did not at Capitol Combat, and the beating that ensued put Luger back into the hospital. I don't think he should have been there in the first place as far as that's concerned. But right now, let's go to our colleague Tony Schiavone.
Typically I don't want
special
people to be
feature with Lex Luger
hospitalized. That's
at
nice of you,
bedside
Jim.
in the hospital.
Okay, Lex, we've talked to your doctor. I know you've had a temperature over 103 for the past couple of days, and to be honest with you, that leg does not look good at all.
Tony, I'll tell you what. It's going to take a lot more than a little discoloration.
I got chicken pox, but just in my leg.
From Capitol Combat and Ric Flair in the cage.
I understand that, but the doctor has said, pointedly, this is a serious staph infection.
Dave in Syracuse, thank you so much for the sub. Appreciate it.
You know,
God, I'm gonna huge. Gonna be like Jeep Swenson at the end of the stream.
Capitol Combat 90.
He broke his leg so bad it gave him the
and
flu.
damn it, I don't care if they rip these tubes out of my arm, Tony. I don't care if I have to crawl, take a bus, a train, however I have to get there. I am going to be there in
He's
that
got some
ring.
great
And
bedhead
Capitol
going
Combat
on
90.
here.
Flair's ring
Like if he hadn't been laying in that bed all day, he did a good job of making his hair look like it.
I'm not going to let it slip through my fingers.
Well, fans, we don't know when Lex Luger will be back in action, but knowing that great competitor will be sooner than we think. Now, I've invited an old friend of mine to join us here on World Championship Wrestling, indeed a legend in the sport of wrestling. I'd like to bring out now Mr. Wrestling 2 here at World Championship
And how
Wrestling.
random.
I know you know him very well, Corny.
Yeah, I know Mr. Wrestling, too.
Nobody wants to. He just gave him the microphone.
We don't have no problems, and I'm keeping an eye
Nobody
on
wants to shake Mr. Wrestling 2's hand.
like, okay, no problem.
I've heard the stories about him.
That knee has only been applied to men anyway, so you don't fit that bill.
Two, I'll tell you something. You and I both know the secret that we're talking about, the surprise for the Horsemen. What are your thoughts on it? Without letting the cat out of the bag for James, he doesn't know.
Well, you know.
Why are we
I
telling
know
Mr.
that
Wrestling 2 the
Horsemen
surprise?
has always been high on surprises, providing they're giving them. And this is one time the surprise is coming the other way. And fortunately, I am looking forward.
He has no idea what he's talking
together
about.
For the simple reason that Ole Anderson.
Jim probably didn't even tell him there was
Arn
going to be a
Anderson
surprise. He just
and
sprung
Ric
it on him
Flair,
when he got on
these guys
screen.
are the most devious guys in the
wrestling profession today.
Mr. Wrestling 2 is the one masked man that does not look cooler in a
This is going to be
suit.
a surprise. I guarantee you people out there.
I don't know if it's like strictly a lucha thing.
He's going on about a surprise. You're going on about a surprise. What is the surprise?
Surprise is going to be real good because I can guarantee you when it all comes down and when it happens, they're going to have the surprise of their life, including you.
Yeah,
Ladies
he
and
has no
gentlemen,
idea.
invite Mr. Wrestling 2 to stay with James E. and I right now. We've got more great action here on World Championship Wrestling. Let's go up to the ring and our next great
Jimmy
event
Carter's
is
I'm like,
featuring
oh yeah,
Arn Anderson.
the guy.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is set for one fall, making his way to the ring area.
There was a Mr. Wrestling 3 in 1973. It was Steve Carino. Steve Carino took bookings for a couple years as Mr. Wrestling 3. Here comes Arn Anderson with one of the best title belts of all time, the NWA World TV title. Yeah, it was like in the 2006, 2007. Oh, Paul Drake, look at that. Full outfit this time. Vest, little headband. We know that he is real sexy. And the surprise is Paul Drake. Normally, when he's a surprise, he's inside of a cake that he pops up.
Well, let me tell you this. I know Ric Flair, Ole Anderson, Arn Anderson. I know the Horsemen perhaps as good, if not better than anybody around. And from what I can gather is that they're worried. They are definitely worried.
Paul Drake. Seriously, he doesn't even the stance that you do when you pop out of a cake. When you strip.
They've got, I tell you what, to be very honest with you, this is going to be a surprise. You might even call it the ultimate surprise because this man is not only big, but he's powerful, and he can get the job done no matter what the circumstances may be.
Nobody said it was a man, Mr. Wrestling 2. You spoiled it. The black trunks were very cheap back then. Imagine they're cheap now, too. Arn has the little double A stitched in his. That's how you know they're his.
I cannot understand how something like that can happen.
That hurts, don't it? That's too bad.
This is the third guy you knock out and punch
before
out.
the night's over, and when you do find out who it is, I'll guarantee you, you're going to.
Paul Drake with his shitty little punches. Oh, that looked good.
It'll be Arn Anderson facing Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
Leave the face alone.
Champions 11 live.
Got 3 appointments tonight, you know.
Wednesday night, June 13th, 8:05 Eastern Time. But right now it's Arn Anderson, and 2, he's one of the toughest men in the sport. He's got a DDT that's beyond
Paul Drake
compare.
is the only man who has underwear
and he's
made by
also one of the
Reeves.
most devious. That's why he's with the Four Horsemen. I don't like the man tactics. I have.
That way he doesn't have to change too much between appointments. Oh, there we go.
There's that DDT we were talking about. This should be it.
He is under the ropes.
Arn Anderson has won it.
Yeah, Nigel's great. Nigel McGuinness is
Thank you
great.
very much for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it was nice being had, wasn't it? Right now, we see Arn
Yeah, Arn Anderson, yeah, he was smart. He put his initials in his tights so nobody could take him. Paul Drake, he lost his, oh well.
From this man, and now let's go to Jim Ross, who has a very special guest, Rocky King.
Another devastating victory for Arn Anderson.
Oh, Rocky King.
Rocky King, you're a happy man because you know the big surprise that we have for the Horsemen, do you not?
You better believe it, Jim Ross. He tall, he big, and he bad. And he's from my side of the town.
Is he one of your main men?
My man. You better believe
I feel like this is very I think I know where this is going. And I hear a lot of coded language. I'm not comfortable.
We'll be back with more World Championship Wrestling right after this.
Hey, Monster, welcome to the chat. Rocky King was a lot of fun.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to World Championship Wrestling. I'm sure the Horsemen.
Yeah, it's wild. Everybody in the locker room but the Horsemen knows about the surprise. It's not a surprise.
demanding right now here to be
You guys are just kind of being rude to the Horsemen.
for himself and the Horsemen. Bottom line, Ross, spit it out. Who is it?
Rick, Ross, it's something when you interview a guy like that, Rocky King. I don't much like that at all. We asked you real nice before.
Jim
and
Ross,
asking
like-
you again, what's this big surprise you got?
I'm going
Yeah,
to
it's,
answer you.
I know what it is now.
We don't even talk to guys like
And I think we're about to get real uncomfortable.
I'm gonna get in that
Ric
ring
Flair's
right
head
now,
looks like a
and I'm gonna
cloud.
grab him by the neck. We'll find out right now.
I'm not going to tell you. It's that simple. You have to wait. It's a surprise. You like to surprise everybody. Where you guys going?
Yeah, Ole doesn't like Rocky. That's a shock. That's right. Sure
They can't stand this anticipation. Let's go up to ring announcer Tony Gillum and our next event.
Tony Gillum.
This match is set for one fall. In the ring from Truth or Consequences, New Mexico, weighing 261 pounds, Cactus Jack Vinson.
Look at that vest.
His opponent. He hails from Atlanta, Georgia, weighing in at 221 pounds.
Yeah, I know where this is going. Talking to the mic, buddy.
You don't have to wrestle, all right? I'll pay you a couple. Yeah. Go home. Get out of here.
I go home? Do I have to be involved in this bullshit? Great. Leave.
Get that microphone here. Relax, be cool. You got no problem. You know, there's
I forgot he said that word. No.
For the Horsemen, and I just want to know, what is that surprise?
Only you is gonna be surprised. Get up here! Hey! Don't give me that surprise crap! Who are you talking about, boy?
Oh, don't like that.
Listen, we ain't gonna fool around here much longer. We got rid of Sting. We got rid of Luger. Mr. Norman,
Rocky King is at least fun here.
Now, if you don't want to get your head stuck someplace where the sun don't shine, you better.
If you want me to stick your head up my ass. What was that line?
I want to know right now who that surprise is, Mr. Rocky King.
Let me explain something to you, boy. You can't
Stop
move
it.
1 foot with a broken leg, so spit it out.
Yeah, Rocky King is stealing the show.
He's gonna take care of you, buddy.
I think Cactus Jack dropped the Manson after this run. There we go, Junkyard Dog. Apparently carrying Andre the Giant's duffel bag of $10,000 from WrestleMania with him. Yeah, the language they used was fucked up. Yeah, we got JYD wearing his K-Swiss shirt.
Let me see if I understand this right. You are the surprise that's supposed
What
to
the, like, oh, big surprise, it's gonna be bad for the Horsemen, and JYD's just standing there. I'm the surprise, guys. No. Or Rocky King just gets his ass kicked. I think this is the run where Meltzer runs into JYD at a hotel. He's just got like armfuls of like junk food from the vending machine. And that's when Meltzer started calling him junk food dog. I'm pretty sure this is the run. And what's funny is, like, JYD thought it was funny. JYD knew that he was called junk food dog and it was over and he thought it was funny.
Flair has been nailed by the Junkyard Dog. Ole Anderson is trying to restrain Flair.
I watched that whole angle. I didn't see JYD nail Ric Flair. I saw him punch him a few times.
You did everything in the world. You put Sting out. You put Lex out. You beat Norman. You got a degree.
You can just say you beat Norman?
Look here, man.
You know, the top three baby faces, Sting, Lex Luger, and Norman. K-Swiss.
Back home. Listen out. Look how they did Sting. Look how they did Luger. Look how they did Norman. Now they gonna call.
Yeah, JYD and Flair at that clash, you're right at him. That match sucked. Like, I obviously never saw any of the Elegante Flair matches, but I've heard from people who've seen both that Elegante and Flair was better than Flair and JYD.
What a situation, and we'll be right back. Don't you go away.
Hello, it's JHeel0990. Welcome. Thank you so much for the follow.
Ladies and gentlemen, this match is set for one fall.
Kick back, relax. If you want to, join everyone in the chat, the Erotic Era Quantain fan club, if you want. Here comes Doug Furnas, aka Doug Furnas, aka the freakiest athlete in the history of the world. Yeah, that segment would not happen today, thankfully. Jay Heat, I'm sorry. Jay Heat, I apologize. But welcome to the chat. Glad to have you here. Zan Panzer from somewhere in Europe.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to
can't be racist against white Europeans.
What I saw just happened there was respect. You know, that woke a lot of people up right there. And
now we got Paul Orndorff on commentary.
Let me tell you something, kids.
People thought was dead like 2 months before this.
You can't live this way and expect to get away.
Freaky as in,
and it's not the right thing to do.
Doug Furnas could do like everything athletic.
The Four Horsemen, they are not going to get away with this anymore. I mean, you're talking about people like myself, a Junkyard Dog, and what he just did. You're talking about Sting. You're talking about Luger.
Doug Furnas has like better. Some of his lifting numbers are better than Mark Henry's.
And this stuff is what they've been doing. They get up here and they gloat.
And he's like half Mark Henry's size.
They put him out of their livelihood. I'm talking about another man to put another
giant
man
thighs
out of wrestling just to hurt him and to gloat over it and to put out what you know. This is how he makes his living. This is how he pays his bill. How he feeds his family. And these people.
Zan got his singlet from a yoga instructional VHS tape.
I have been on that other side of that fence, and for a lot of people, you know, that could be a disadvantage, but not for me because that's an advantage for me.
Watch the leapfrog. Oh hell yeah! Effortless.
You've heard that saying before. You got to fight fire with fire, and I'm telling you, the fire's been lit. It's going to spread, and you're going to see a lot of things happening here in World Championship Wrestling.
Like Zan Panzer looks like, and we've brought it up before, a sitcom monster. An actor wearing tights, pretending to be a wrestler on a TV show.
Wrestling too. He's a legendary figure. Lex Luger, Sting, and of course now Junkyard Dog, who's one of the biggest, baddest son of a guns ever stepped foot in a ring. You're talking about ganging up just like you claim that the Four Horsemen are ganging up.
Here we go. Gorilla press. Dude, he got him up with one arm. That's nuts. Under the hood, it's Gene Anderson's son. Ironic, since we just saw Old. That's who's under the Zan Panzer hood. So a legit Anderson. Not a worked Anderson like Arn. Hey, Midnight Fowler. Yeah, look at this. Doug Furnas, big old jack dude, doing backflips and crazy leapfrogs, and also legitimately one of the strongest athletes in history. Look at that drop kick. He does a drop salt in like 1990.
World's strongest man with a dynamic victory. The world's strongest man, Doug Furnas.
Yeah, that dude, it sucks he didn't go further in America, but he had a hell of a run with Phil Crawford in Japan.
Mr. Wrestling 2, Junkyard Dog, Luger, and Sting, and all the rest seem to be ganging up after the Four Horsemen. Well, we'll find out when we talk to Jim Ross and Paul Orndorff right now.
Great action here on World Championship Wrestling, and as always, great to see old
for a job interview.
Again, Paul Orndorff, Mr. Wonderful, back in World Championship Wrestling.
Would love to work as your clerical assistant.
Mr. Wonderful will take on Arn Anderson, one of the Horsemen, Paul.
Well, thank you, Jim. Thanks for those kind words. You know, I'm here for one reason, and I love competition. That's what it's all about. That's the way I was brought up. That's the way I live. I sleep. That's the way I made my living, is competition. And what I see around here,
also running a bowling alley,
is that there's no respect. And, you know, you don't get respect by spelling it. You get respect by getting somebody's attention.
Really? Because I spelled respect in second grade at a spelling bee, and those teachers treated me way better.
That belt a little bit too long. The Four Horsemen, they're going out crippling
people. That is
You
bullshit.
know, they get their kicks out of this. They think
that is so. WWE's YouTube channel in the early days was kind of
I know exactly
shitty
what they
towards
I know exactly what they do.
Like, they would post videos like, Elegante's a piece of shit.
Ladies and gentlemen, Paul Orndorff,
something like that.
More on that in the hour, and
or that weird YouTube series where like Josh Matthews and Road Dogg would laugh at like old stuff, and I'm like, half of this shit's better than anything Road Dogg ever did.
Ladies and gentlemen, this match is set for one fall. Introducing first.
Yeah, that's lame. Beverly Brothers rule. Here we go. Doom gonna beat some dudes up. I think I seen Powerhouse Tim Parker in the ring. Cannot quite tell who the other guy is.
From Tampa, Florida, weighing 234 pounds, Tim Parker. And his partner is from Mooresville, North Carolina, weighing 234
Jerry Price.
pounds, Jerry Price.
WWE YouTube. Here's when Mantar was history's most hateful human being.
Also Monday in Alexandria, Louisiana, at the Rapides Parish Coliseum. I want to remind you of a
Oh yeah, you don't need any other dial. I put it on channel 1. I get the reception I need for the show.
the Civic Center. Jim Ross and Jim Cornette back with you here on World Championship Wrestling.
Yeah, we got Bald Teddy Long. We had Bald Teddy Long last week too, but now it's official.
It's known by all. The world knows, Mr. Wrestling number 2, that the Junkyard Dog is back, and he wants to be
Actually, technically, my dial's on channel 3. Is
Well, I think
12, 1, 2, and then 3. On channel 2.
When he stepped into the ring, you know, they kind of overloaded themselves with their mouth. And JYD showed
Mr. Wrestling 2's back on commentary? Why?
JYD will take.
Did they just like feel bad? Did he have nothing to do?
And I tell you what, I think you, Mr. Cornette, had a surprise of your life also.
I'll tell you, I was surprised to see Junkyard Dog back, but I'm not surprised to see what he did in the ring.
Ooh.
Because I know that Junkyard Dog is a
Tim
bad son of a
Parker.
gun, but at the same time, he's palling around with Rocky
God,
King.
if Tim Parker was like 6 foot tall, he would have done pretty well in wrestling.
Here's the first black
Mr. Wrestling's ride was late.
and the man who manages him, Sugar Ray Long, has the belts over his shoulder to prove it. I think that is a mighty big accomplishment.
This team gearing up
Oh,
for Clash
gosh.
of Champions 11, Coastal Crush. They will defend the world titles against the Steiners in a big rematch there. And Reed with the lateral press and head 2. It's live on TBS Wednesday night, June 13th. And Mr. Wrestling 2
Yeah,
is
Wrestling
gonna
2, if you're not very busy. I'm not busy. My whole week is free. You want me to do main event tomorrow? I'll do main event. Pay-per-views in July? I'll do that too. Yeah.
Well, it's going to be a real pleasure being there, and I can guarantee you one thing, that law and order will be upheld.
Yeah, Teddy Long trying to cover his bald head as if he hasn't been bald since he started refereeing.
And that's exactly what's going to take place, or I'll know the reason why.
I don't think it's fair that you should be allowed to be a referee
Ooh,
because I
right
know
on his
you and
head.
you're a hothead.
Right, Jerry
and if
Price in the
somebody
ring
gets in your
now.
way, you're liable to hit him with that dadgum knee lift and knock somebody's head off.
That dadgum knee lift.
Like that.
Well, there's not a whole lot you can do about it because I went out and bought me a license, and the license says that I can get in that ring and referee. So,
Oh, he's going to be a referee? Went out and got me a license. Can you believe they still let me drive? I'm like 80.
Well, if you had a fishing license, they would
I can barely see.
And the World Tag Team Champions are so dominant here.
Winners, the World Tag Team Champions, the Team of Doom.
We'll take another look at it, ladies and gentlemen, before we go
Team
to
of
the
Doom.
Here you see Ron Simmons coming up.
Oh, right in the ear. Oh, that was rough.
The new Tag Team Champions of the world, managed by Sugar Ray Long, are the Team of Doom.
And they'll meet the Steiners live on the Clash of Champions 11, and we'll be back with the Steiners right after this.
This week's Drew's Move of the Week features Flying Brian Pillman.
Brian Pillman gonna do a hip toss. That's the move of the week.
We'll show you an array of moves, including his high-flying,
An array of moves.
Flying Brian Pillman, who makes it
Hello, Grand Malcontent. I thought that said Grandma Content. Grand Malcontent. Welcome. Thank you so much for following. Appreciate you bringing the flat soda and the half-eaten crackers. Oh, I think I see a favorite in the ring. Grandma Content. I'm so sorry. All right, I got the Steiners in the ring. Yes, it is. It's my guy, Joe Cruz, and the Rose, Jerry Bubba Rose, my favorite. Hey, Grand Malcontent. Yes, Jim Cornette is on commentary alongside Jim Ross and sometimes Mr. Wrestling number 2.
Right here live on TBS. Clash 11, Coastal Crush.
The Rose, Jerry Bubba Rose.
At 8:05 Eastern Time.
One of the all-time greats. The Rose, Jerry Bubba.
I'll be speaking to the heavyweight.
Couldn't just have one nickname. He needed 2.
As well you should. You've talked to everybody else. Do you ever get the feeling that things have gotten away from you, out of control? I don't know what's going on. There's been more people come through here today than at a truck stop out on Interstate 85. You had an interview with Mushmouth.
Scott Steiner
Rocky
just
King.
got a
He was
fresh
surrounded by
cut.
20,000 lightning bugs, and Junkyard Dog comes in the ring and starts beating people up right and left. What the heck's going on around here?
Oh, what a move there by Scotty Steiner. Caught Cruz as he tried to to leapfrog and suplexed him. We got a great program tomorrow.
Oh, right in the mouth hole.
NWA main event that starts at 6:05. Stan the Lariat Hansen on the NWA main event. This
all right, here we go. The Rose, Jerry Bubba Rose here to straighten some boys up.
To meet the Midnight Express at Clash of Champions 11
oh,
for
gosh.
the U.S. Tag Team Championship. And here comes a double arm suplex.
Poor Jerry Bubba Rose. Oh, Tiger Driver.
Hey, I tell you what, I don't care how good the Steiners look, just like Pillman and Zink, they're ex-champions.
Also, I love that he couldn't be like the Rose Jerry Bubba Gibson, like the Rose Jerry Bubba Brown. He had to be the Rose Jerry Bubba Rose. Like they're just punching him in the head. Oh gosh, why? Guy at ringside's like, honk your horn. What? Other guys like, should I? No, I don't really know this guy. Why am I? Nope, not gonna do it. Oh, right in the throat. Come on, seriously.
Yeah, they're gonna be doomed as soon as they meet doom. You ought to be happy to have friends back of any kind. I'll tell you what I'm happy about.
Oh, it's freaky. Didn't even have to jump for him.
He is one of the biggest, meanest son of a guns ever.
Oh.
And that lariat is going to be.
And this is the Steiners treating somebody nice.
Maybe to help the four horsemen counteract guys like Junkyard Dog, Wrestling 2, Luger, Sting, the Steiners, and the rest.
Random second rope lariat in the middle of a match. Yeah, Jerry Bubba Rose was an enhancement guy. Unfortunately, because he rules. The shame the Rose Jerry Bubba Rose never was like a champion or a pushed guy. You know, he was too cool for wrestling.
Nobody has ever said that these guys weren't heck in the ring. They come up with some of the most outrageous maneuvers ever. But their mental
the Stone, Rocky Stone. I met Tom Stone when I was like 18. I helped run an indie show in Northern Indiana, and he just randomly showed up. He was there to hang out with his buddy Bull Payne. Jerry Rose rules.
Well, you see the demented grin on the face of the dog-faced gremlin Rick Steiner and his brother Scott. The replay of the belly-to-belly. I hope Bubba closed his eyes. An awesome maneuver.
Look at his skeleton just move like a water bed.
Clash of Champions June 13th. But now we go to Jim Ross and a very special interview with the heavyweight champion of the world, Nature Boy, Ric Flair, right now.
And ladies and gentlemen, the crowd here chanting JYD.
This is, I believe, Ric Flair's fourth promo of the show.
To you, Nature Boy.
Well, let me explain one thing.
In an hour?
Out front right now, behind.
I believe chemicals are what happened to Scott Steiner vs. Wizards. Lots of chemicals.
Has signed a match for the world heavyweight wrestling.
Did anybody ever tell Ric Flair that he had a microphone in front of his mouth? He didn't have to scream.
National television with Ric Flair, your champion, wrestling everybody's black
Look at.
hero.
Oh, why? Look at Jim Ross though.
Now, Don, there's a lot of people in this sport that I don't like for professional reasons, for personal reasons, right on down. I don't like you. And a minute ago, you made the
Yeah, this is no Nicholas Dickhead promo. That's right, Jonathan.
a $6 million athlete, custom made. Let me explain something to you.
Dude, I saw your contract in that WCW lawsuit in '99. You weren't making $6 million, buddy. You don't know how to negotiate.
Michael Jackson, you will never high five Mike Tyson. You will never sit on Arsenio Hall's show and say you are the first black heavyweight champion of the world.
Yeah, this is not comfortable at all.
You understand that?
Ric Flair in the role of not wanting any black people to be world champions. Yeah, you're right, Stephen J. Neptune. WWF wasn't any better at this point. Roddy Piper, a month before this, was half blackface.
She don't say nothing about the Junkyard Dog.
Yeah, Ric Flair is creepy. Darn straight, Grand Malcontent.
Grabs this arm and says, "Ooh, champ." She don't say nothing about the Junkyard Dog.
I think this is the point in the promo where Ric Flair is blacked out and has no idea what he's saying.
My esteemed friend, I am gonna thump
My esteemed friend.
for a number of reasons. Number one being, I'm Ric Flair, and no athlete on the face of this earth insults me.
No, but all of us normal people get to.
Wednesday, June 13th, World Championship. Ric Flair and a Junkyard Dog, and we'll be right back.
Oh, the Legion of Doom. As opposed to the Team of Doom.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to World Championship Wrestling.
Oh, that's Steiner's shirt.
Are on their way to the ring, but first, let's hear the
That guy's like, yeah, Aerosmith.
Four horsemen, listen up! Sting, you jumped him for
Getting very funny to see these guys cutting a promo in front of the school picture day backdrop. This Hawk is again sucking his gums. No chemical problem. Yeah, we did get Road Warriors versus Doom.
Right here on TV, dare try to jump the Legion of Doom. Tell him,
Hey, Zone Tripper X. I'm not that Tim Green. Definitely not Tim Green. Nor am I that Tom Green. I'm not that Tom Green. See, that's my handle. Zone Tripper X.
If I want to slap Ric Flair in the face, he's gonna have to do something about it. But
Yeah,
what
so
can
much
he do
coke
against
now.
this?
That's right.
Whoa! Not much at all, because we're the LOD, the Legion of Doom. The
Yeah, Animal's doing it too. Be less obvious, guys.
A rush for us, a bummer for you.
Ladies and gentlemen, making their way to the ring.
So scary. It's a bummer for you. Yeah.
At 601 pounds, they're led to the ring by their manager, Furnas, Paul Ellering. Here they are.
Didn't even wear the shoulder pads. Nasty Ned Brady with his sexy grandma bathing suit. Did not see who the other guy was.
And Jim, I'm going to try to get back in the back and see if we can get some kind of word from the Horsemen about what they're going to do about that challenge.
I'm going to be talking.
Yes, if you go back and watch old pro wrestling, you will see guys doing this shit all the time. They were in the WWF, I think, by into summer. I want to say. So this is like right at the end of their run. Like within weeks, I'm pretty sure. Yes, I do remember that promo. Where Hawk was threatened to do many things to Ric Flair. I just watched a Raw's War last week at random, where Hawk is like eyes closed like this the whole time during his promo, and like has one of his lips all the way in his mouth. Hello, Digital Underground Kings. Welcome. Thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate it. Welcome. Join us. Oh, there we go. Rick Fargo is the other opponent. His shoulders aren't down. Hawk had to like hold his shoulders down. That was great. Animal's like, yeah, we did it again. Whatever. Yeah, love all the new folks coming in. Love it. So close to 900 followers.
Let's go to Jim Ross, who's standing by with an unusual combination. Tommy,
It was like shit. I don't have feelings in my arms.
A great victory for the Road Warriors. Of course, they've.
Why are these two cutting a promo together?
What do you think about JYD?
Sting and his friend Tommy Rich.
I just feel so good because a lot of us here in the NWA decided to get together, take on
Again, Sting, you have a microphone like, right here.
JYD, he gets in the ring with Ric Flair, the Horseman, of course, jumped to the ring and he says, I got a new attitude. Just try it.
Oh, I thought he was doing that.
Bam, they left. Wow, that makes me feel good. I mean, what do you think about this situation?
You know, the reason that the Horsemen were so successful in the 80s is because their situation
Did Tommy give him some stuff? And so he was just standing there, and Jim's like, whatever, just stand here for the promo.
Well, Sting, Lex Luger,
Tommy Rich, fresh from his audition to be the new singer for Ambrose.
That's a pretty good gang there, and we want all our people. That's going to be the rest of our gang. So everybody, come on down.
Oh, thank you so much, Zone Tripper. I appreciate it. Appreciate the kind words.
Sting, Luger, myself. Like I said, JYD on top.
New YouTube short tomorrow.
Let's go now to the
I believe I'm going to upload the one I did about PG-13. Tomorrow morning I'll put that up.
The total package, Lex Luger in a series of slams.
Yeah, Sting rules. Sting has always ruled. Sting will always
If you think that you would like to vote for Lex Luger as King of the Slam, vote
As
yes.
Brenticus reminded us, these phone numbers do not work anymore. Unfortunately, they're not even sex phones.
At 1-900-720-6052. Don't forget A&W Cream Soda. There's just more to it.
He totally shocked.
All right, that was apparently it. No outro, but since there was an ad that was run when I played it, just a reminder, what we'll be doing Sunday on Off the Grid.
Bert Prentice here along with my cousin Betty.
All right, so that's it. Sunday, we'll be back 8 p.m. But right now, I want to thank you all so much for joining me. The last 2 hours plus for WCW Deep Cuts Live. Everything seems to have gone well with the new camera, so we're good there. So yeah, like you saw a second ago, I will be back Sunday at 8 p.m. on YouTube and Twitch. So if you're watching this on YouTube and want to watch on Twitch, I'll be on both. Sunday 8 p.m. for some Ozark Mountain Wrestling with our good pal Bert Prentice. So thank you to the regulars, the new folks that joined tonight, everybody in between. If you're watching this on YouTube in the future, thank you for hanging out. And I'll also be back next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Yes, Jonathan brings it up. Shout out to Drugs Delaney, good pal, and a regular in the Erotic Eric Fontaine fan club, aka the chat. He's going through some medical stuff. I'm not going to go too much into it, but shout out and thoughts and all that jazz go out to Drugs. He's going to pull through. And with that, we're done for tonight. Brian, everybody that's new tonight, show up Sunday, because this is nothing compared to how weird it gets on Sundays. So, yeah, like I always say at the end of these things, even if you don't make it to here next Tuesday, just make it the next Tuesday. Just 7 days. That's all I'm asking. You can do it. This has been WCW Deep Cuts Live. I'm Tom. I'm right there. And yeah, I'll see you on Sunday night. Bye-bye. Go to bed.